This vlog is going to be all over the place. Okay, so I've been at my job for like 7 years now. And despite being a rather small cog in the wheel for most of that time, and still arguably that way, um, the requirement has been that I wear clothes such as this: a collared shirt, uh, the matching slacks or whatever you want to call them, and proper shoes. And for most of those years, it was also required that I wear a tie. That's not required anymore, but I do it anyway because I'm so used to it that like I just keep doing it. So you know, it's been about 7 years now. I've worn some of the same shirts for 7 years. I've gotten a couple of new ones along the way, some of which I like, some of which I haven't really liked. Um, just because they've sort of come into my collection and you know are really my only option. Um, so I've decided recently that it is time to refurbish my wardrobe a little bit for work. Um, Men's dress clothes are kind of pricey. Um, and I hate spending money on them because like this is money that I spend for work to work, which is shitty. I really think that if they're gonna have a dress code, maybe they should like, you know, send you a coupon or some shit. Like, anyways, um, so that's such a dumb notion, but it also isn't because like definitely have you know you definitely spend a couple $100s to get where I've gotten with my work wardrobe, even though I pretty religiously wear the same 5 shirts every week. Um, Anyways, I've recently decided to try and refurbish my wardrobe. However, I had this idea a couple of years ago. And by a couple, I mean like 2. Um, and I went to the place that I liked to shop for my men's dress clothes, and they slashed it. They slashed the size of it down so that they really only sold a couple of blazers and like 2 shelves of pants. Um, so yeah, I come to a bit of a problem. A problem of modern versus classic, which is what we're talking here about today. I'm good. So this is a really weird sort of back and forth, and a problem that I would like to use to outline these weird thoughts that I have that are kind of abstract about where we are in life. We're in this weird, like, hybrid state where some things are the future and other things are not the future and are way better off just not being in the future, but the future doesn't really seem to know that and just kind of like keeps marching ahead. And like, meanwhile, this back here is like, actually, this was okay. Maybe we don't need to change that one. So we're going to talk about that. And like, this is where we get into my other rant. There's an entire vlog that I could make about men's dress clothes and how much they suck. And we're probably going to get into that here, even though I don't really want to, because like I said, it is an entire rant. But I think it proves my point rather well. So, what do I do yesterday? I go online, because that's what we do nowadays. We go online and we shop for stuff, and that's just how it works. So I go online and I'm looking for, these shirts. And the main thing that I'm looking for, by the way, is like short sleeve button down shirts, because I can wear those, and I've never really considered that as an option before. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let me get some of those shirts so that I can wear those shirts to work in the summer. That would be nice. That would be cool. I would like to not have to deal with sleeves all the time. You know, Because why would you? It's 90 degrees outside. There's no reason for that shit. Anyway, you know, so I'm looking, and I'm like, wow, there really aren't that many options here. You know. So I go to another site and like, wow, okay, there really aren't that many options here, and also they're all $50. Okay, that's a problem. I don't want to spend $50 on a shirt. You know, even though I'll wear it and certainly get my money's out of it. So shopping online is great, but there's another glaring problem here. Men's dress clothes are not very varied. Men's dress clothes are pretty much all the same thing. What you see right here is basically what you get visually. And what you get visually is all you get online. And the most important part, I forgot the M. The most important part of a dress shirt that you're going to be wearing a lot isn't how it looks, because chances are it's going to look a little bit like this. It's how it feels. Because you got to be comfortable. I got to wear this shit for 9 hours a day. So if it's made out of a goddamn paper, and some of them are, I ain't going to like that shirt. And I'm not going to wear it. We're about to get really existential over something that's probably pretty minor here. So it kind of baffles me, right? So like I think about it and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is not working. This is not a good way to go about buying clothes for work, like online. There's just it's not great. There's just not a good way to do this. Because I want to be able to feel it. Also, here's the other thing that complicates things. I'm like kind of a weird. Actually, it doesn't complicate things. We'll talk about that in a second. But also, I'm kind of a weird size, right? Because here's the thing about me. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I have the neck of a much larger person than myself. My neck, I don't know if you've noticed this, is thick AF. I've got a dummy thick neck. And my grandfather's nose. Anyway, so like, what happens is I require a very strange size of shirt that requires like a 16.5 neck because I don't want to be fucking choking. But like it also results, and I wore this shirt very, very particularly, it also results in my shirts being incredibly baggy and like adding round and puffy parts to me that I do not possess. I'll look in the mirror in the bathroom at work and I'll be like, whoa, is that all of me? And then I'll have to do that like shirt meme where like the girl's wearing the like loose shirt and then she does this and like her bust is accentuated. I found a really tasteful way to word that in a very short amount of time, because that was not my original thought. But like, and then I'm like, okay, geez, thank God I'm not like this weird lumpy shape. I am a little bit, but we're not gonna talk about that. So like that's another issue. Not that I want to try on men's dress clothes, because let me tell you, I want to meet the person. Have you ever seen like one of the men's dress shirts and tie sets in the box? You ever seen one of them? Because those are neat little things that exist. Like it's a shirt in a box. Like how often do you buy clothes in a box? That's really cool. Also, the person who designed the way to fold those shirts may also be famous for inventing fucking calculus, because those things are folded and pinned and plasticed in the most ridiculous way possible, that it is a nightmare to try and decipher them in order to wear them and try them on. You do not try on those shirts. You don't fucking do it. You're gonna ruin it for the store if you don't like it, it's going to be a bad time for some worker because they're just going to have to shove it back in, and then it looks trashy, and then I feel bad because for some reason I just feel bad when I mess things up in a store because it ain't mine. This shit's fucking crazy. Like, literally just, like, go buy a shirt and then try to take it apart because that shit's fucking whack. Oh, wait. Here comes my other problem. So I'm thinking to myself, man, this online thing, it doesn't really work. And I'm like, how did I get here in the first place? How did we do this? Shopping online is like, for clothes, is not really that great. Because again, the most important thing is that you want to feel it. Like, I can buy a red shirt, whatever. But, like, what's the fucking point if it's not comfortable? If he's made out of goddamn paper, then who cares? Okay, so, you know, again, not a huge deal, but it is a huge deal because if you're buying clothes, anyways, I think you get my point. So I thought, how did I get here? And the way I got here is because, like, most of the places that sell clothes like this are disappearing. I'm going to take you back 2 years ago again, at my dismay of this certain place slashing their men's clothing section. They used to have like 3 like display stands full of shirts, just full of shirts, all different colors, different ties, tons of tie racks, you know, many different stands that have just pants on them. There was one where you could get like random shit that makes you look fancier, like stuff for your pocket, you know, one of those things, one of those little thingy things. I don't know, is that a handkerchief? That's not a handkerchief, Jesus Christ. You know, stuff like that. You get wallets. Men don't accessorize. It's fucking boring as shit. We'll get to that. This is so long-winded. But yeah, so they used to have several racks, right? And it was like the place that I liked to go because it was a place where you often had things to make them cheaper, right? Coupons? It's fucking Kohl's. I wasn't going to name names. It's fucking Kohl's. Fucking Kohl's, man. I used to like it because it was this standalone store, right? And it was its own thing. And it was like kind of this nice little department store that you could go to that wasn't in like a fucking mall or anything. It was kind of down there by Target. So I could reward myself, right? By going and buying my clothes and then going to Target and getting something fun, right? Because I'm a child that needs to be bribed, even if it's by myself. But it was nice because there was a pretty wide selection of items to choose from. And when I walked in there that one day to be like, all right, I guess I'm going to buy myself a new dress shirt because I could use one or something. And they had replaced the men's dress department with shoes and moved the men's dress department. And there's only blazers and there's only pants and there's only pants. That's funny. And there's like no shirts whatsoever, and I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no, because you know where the last place, you know where the place I bought my dress shirts prior to Kohl's was? Sears. And if you don't understand that joke, you are too young. Anyway, so like, previously, there were department stores, these things called department stores. They were attached to this large building called a mall. They're dying now. Sears is gone. Sears is a bitter memory, all right? Like, you used to go there to get your air conditioning and your lawnmowers and your appliances. It was not a very fun store because it was mostly clothes. You might think, if you're old enough like me, you might think, hey, Funk, what about JCPenney? And like, JCPenney is still there, but I'm not gonna lie, the mall that I'm at is like poorly upkept, and it's a little dangerous A little dangerous around there. In fact, both the malls closest to me are a little dangerous. A little dangerous now because, like, you know, people get stabbed. Um, so don't know how much I want to go to the to the mall. Even if Sears still did exist and was okay. Like, and literally J.C. Penney's was the one I looked at where it was like the shirt either cost $9 and is probably made of paper mache, or it's $50 and that's way too much to pay for a fucking shirt. Inflation's nuts right now. Yeah, you know what I forgot to do? This should be up here. Here, but do that. Branding. So herein kind of lies the dilemma. Are you starting to see this existential nightmare we have? Like, my first question is this. Stores that sell clothing, department stores, how did you fuck up so bad? You provide an essential experience when involving the purchasing of clothes. You provide a tactile experience that makes the clothes buying process so much better and easier and gives you a huge advantage over the internet when it comes to buying clothes. How did you mess this up? Why did you not advertise this? Like, I still see commercials sometimes. No, I don't. Actually, no, I don't. I don't see commercials for like any of those stores anymore. Not Macy's, not JC Penney's, none of that shit. But why? You could put a commercial on TV that's like, hey man, JC Penney's, feel it before you buy it. Want to make sure you don't buy a cardboard shirt because you're cheap and a fucking $12 shirt on Amazon looks pretty good? Well, don't do that shit. Come on down here. We'll give you $10 off if you come in person because we want to stay in business and keep people employed in our stores, except they don't because that's money and people fucking suck. Have you ever tried to run a business? Anyways, like, why don't they just do that? I don't know how they fucked up this badly. Capitalism. Way cheaper to sell online. Who cares? Who needs to fucking touch this shit? This is my existential nightmare, right? Like, online is a great way to buy. I love buying things online. I will buy my brand name toiletries online because that's just fucking easier, right? Buy CDs. Buy Pokemon cards. Who cares? I'm getting that shit same way it comes in the store. You know, buy office supplies. Who cares? You know, my entertainment, my video games. Buy that online, physical copy, who cares, it's coming. You know, like there's a lot of shit that's really good to buy online, okay? Clothing is not one of them. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's this weird cross section where modern and classic don't meet in the middle, because the issue with modern is that it takes away a very essential part of clothes buying, you know? And it's like, the classic way to buy clothes is easier. Look, I'd like and look, I gotta blame everybody. I gotta blame everybody for this because you all started shopping online. All the fucking stores started going out of business. Like, that's a problem. I need to get out of my house, people. I literally I did not mind going to Kohl's to buy shirts. I hated the principle of it because I hated spending money on work, right? Like, it's been 7 years and now I'm finally shaking off that, like, okay, it's time to spend money on this again. You know, and like, now I lost my train of thought, but like, you know, but I actually like having to go to a store, and I'm hoping that stores remain a thing, and I'm wondering if that's not where we're headed, where it's just like you buy everything online and you don't do this stuff anymore, because like, I think that some things should be bought in a store. And I think that they are like stores are a worthy thing to exist. I don't want them to go away. Again, I like buying online, but it's not for everything. I also like going into a store. I like being advertised to a small amount, a decent amount. I don't mind walking around a store trying to find shit. Maybe bumping into something else I might like. Reese's Dip Pretzels? Pretty nice. Pretty nice thing to just kind of run into, you know? Maybe some tiny Lego set. Maybe they have some amiibo I've been looking for or something. Or something cool like that. I don't know. That hasn't happened in a while. Well, it's like the time I saw manga in Target. I was like, oh, they sell manga now. Cool. I can actually just buy the next volume of Chainsaw Man. That's cool. You know, it's just this weird intersection of like modern meets not modern, right? And it's like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't want stores to go away, but I do like shopping online. And I do think that the people that run the stores are kind of shitty. Like, you know, because they can, you know, just get rid of entire sections at will. And, oh man, we can't go back to this topic, but I excluded, like, the biggest part of this rant. Like, dude, let me just, I know I've spent 20 minutes on this fucking example, but like, you're gonna have to permit me 5 more. I did not want this vlog to be an hour long, but we're headed that direction. So like Kohl's, right? Kohl's is an existential nightmare. In fact, most department stores are, but I'm picking on Kohl's because I used to go there, right? Like, they got rid of the men's dress section, okay? Kohl's is so fucking weird to me. It's so fucking weird. Like, what kind of actual person? Like their men's section is like, it's so not realistic at all. I'm so confused by it. Like, as a man, I hate saying that. That sounds gross. I never want to say that again. Like, I do not understand their clothing section. Fucking 40% of their men's clothing section are boot shirts. They're these like light pastel colored button down shirts with little palm trees on them, like not Hawaiian shirts, or like little fucking like small, very subtle designs on them. And there's like 30% of their stock is that. It's like, I know I went down a little bit, but like a huge amount, racks and racks of these fucking little button-down shirts, these fucking dad shirts that he wears on Sundays. These shirts that, by the way, like, men are expected to work 40-hour work weeks. Women are too. I mean, like, I'm not just saying that because, like, I think it's a man thing. No, everybody's expected. Welcome to fucking capitalism. We're all cogs in the machine, baby. But, like, men are expected to wear this kind of clothing for 40 hours out of their week, dude. That is a very large chunk of time. This is what they like to call the white collar, right? As in, like, white collar worker, which is like a lot of jobs nowadays. Like that, like is a growing amount of jobs that take place in an office, in a little cubicle, you doing your little thingy thing that I kind of do. Like, that's the thing. This is the standard. This is like the standard of what a dude wears throughout the work week. And I'll be goddamn if the other half of it isn't fucking pajamas, right? Like, oh my god, no, it's so many of that clothes is like shit that people wear to go golfing. It's like polo shirts and fucking boat shirts. These dad-ass shirts that they only can wear on Saturday and Sunday when they go on their fucking boat, apparently. And look, there used to be the section, right? It was crammed right in the front easternmost corner of the store, right? And that was like normal people clothes. That's where they kept like the sports shirts and t-shirts and other things that normal people would probably wear. And now it's all fucking athletic wear that looks like it's from the future and has hexagons on it and has this really crazy material that like is supposed to not make you sweat and be very, very light. Except that I'm pretty sure it was only tested on people who don't have sweat glands, because of course you're gonna put that on and you're gonna fucking sweat in it and it's gonna get pit stains all over it, of course, in the middle, and you spent $40 on a shirt with great ventilation because you're athletic, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to be a man. And it's like a large percentage of their stock, and then the rest of it's fucking jeans to wear with your fucking boat shirts. But the thing that you spend 40 hours a week in? Nah, fam, it's cool. Just sell them a bunch of blazers. This is to say nothing. This is to say nothing of what 60% of the total stock of Kohl's is, and that is fucking women's clothes. Look, the women's clothing section is spreading across Kohl's like a virus. It's a virus, and every time I go in there, it's a little bit further into everything else. There's just like a little bit more of it. I cannot even navigate a women's clothing section. I cannot do it. I can't do it. There's so much shit. And you know what the fucking bitch of it is? Like, I have to wear this specifically. This is my one option to wear to work for 40 hours a week. 5 days. 5 different days. 5 different shirts. This is it. It's boring as fuck. And I fucking hate it. And, like, women, they get to wear these things that just fucking look like t-shirts. They look like t-shirts. They look like t-shirts, but with like lower necklines. Sometimes they have a little like foldy thing. Sometimes they have a little thing and it like kind of hangs a little bit. It's a little bit like looser down here. And like for some reason, that's considered nicer than a t-shirt, even though it pretty much looks like it's made like cotton and is very soft and is definitely not as pony or rough as the thing that I'm wearing right now. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. And women have like 30% of the store. That's just that. That's just shit that they could wear to work because they have so many fucking options. And all I have are collared shirts, man. And fucking Kohl's is like, nah, man, none of that. Kohl's is an existential nightmare for me. It always has been. Oh, man. So a couple of weeks ago, I was rear-ended in a car accident, right? And it was a harrowing experience. And, you know, when you get, it was harrowing. It's like, seriously. You know, when you're in a car accident, I think the first thing that you want is for it to be over. But honestly, the worst part of it is the existential dread that I feel in going, I'm going to need to fix my car now and deal with insurance. And sure enough, that has recently turned into a nightmare. Why? Because we are in this weird liminal space between modern and old. Those are the two extremes now. So, you know, I just want this thing to go away as quickly and easy as possible. This is not the correct way to go about it. Because as nowadays, we have very great modern conveniences that make this process super fucking easy for the most part. Except, here's the problem. So, I called my insurance company after the accident, and they were like, nah, man, go through their insurance company because you weren't at fault. Right? So they'll have a claim in and you put your part in there and that'll be fine. So that's what I ended up doing. Ended up putting a claim in. There was a worker that called me and was like, okay, so glad to talk to you. Here's your options. You can take your car to a shop and get it appraised. Or you can just download our app and send us, it'll walk you through sending us some pictures and that'll be your next step. So I was like, okay, I'll look into it. I decided to do the app thing because, boy, that seemed really easy. I don't really have any friends in the car biz anymore. And, you know, don't know really where to go. And also, you know, I work 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. It's not like I have days off anymore to go, you know, joyriding around and leaving my car somewhere. So, you know, I do the thing. I get the insurance app, and I, you know, go around, take my pictures, and send them. And kind of knew something was wrong pretty early on, but ignored it because I had an estimate in like an hour. And I was like, that's weird. it's Sunday. So, yesterday in the mail, after dragging my feet on actually taking it somewhere to get it fixed, or at least getting an appointment, I get something in the mail, and it's a check. Which, in fairness, I did not know was the next step when I did this thing. I really thought I was going to send those pictures and a human was going to look at them and tell me next steps. That is not the case. They sent me a check, and my parents took one look at that check and said, oh no. Oh no, that's not enough. That's not going to be enough at all. And it very quickly clicked into place that I had been very naive. So the problem is that the app was the app of the insurance company that was going to be paying me the money to fix my car. So like, duh, you fucking googus. They're going to try to pay you the least amount of as possible, right? It doesn't matter what you take pictures of. They can, you are giving them the power to determine what they pay you, which is, you know, kind of insane and dumb. And I was very naive to do that. Again, I thought that somebody was going to call me after and was going to be like, okay, here's what we're going to do, right? So there you go. There's an example of a modern convenience. Taking pictures of my car, uploading them to an app, way fucking easier than having to deal with several car shops, which is how you used to have to do it, apparently. They were telling me, you know, you would either have it like at some point they had somebody come out that was like an appraiser and would look at your car in the flesh and like assess the damage and develop an estimate based on their observations. That seems pretty easy to me. I like that, right? Except companies were probably like, I don't want to have to pay that dude, right? Like, of course they don't. We can just get the person to upload pictures and that would be the same fucking thing. No, capitalism, baby. That's way cheaper. That's so much cheaper. Like, whoever thought of that idea, like, they had a party and there was a lot of cleanup afterwards. You know, but back in the old days, you would take it to 3 shops. I don't know how people in the old days had time and patience for this, but you would take it to 3 car shops and have them appraise the thing for you, and then they would take an average, which, looking back on it, is way more neutral and average and more likely to get you the money that you need to actually fix the car. But I don't know when the fuck I have time to go to 3 fucking car shops, right? Like, I mean, I personally am just happy the thing is still fucking drivable, right? Like, I'm moving on with my life. But again, it's this weird place where modern convenience like smacks in with the fact that the old way of doing things, the old in-person way of doing things, had a point. And this is where we get into a like much broader sense of this. Because like there's an element of the car one that, oh god, it's getting warm in here. See? Short sleeves. This is why we need the short sleeves. Shirts, but I can't find them. They are all boat shirts. They are all dad shirts. So here's the other thing about this situation, right? It's that I don't know anything about cars. I don't know anything. I've been driving for 15 years. 15? No, 13. I've been driving for almost 13 years now. And I don't know anything about cars. You might be thinking, well, you're a dumbass. Like, learn about cars. I was like, I don't know. You just, you know, you don't have to. There's never a point where they teach you, they teach you to stay out of the fucking no zones. I'm going to give you all PSD, all you drivers, PSD. I'm going to give you all a Photoshop document about staying out of the no zones. But they don't teach you the parts of the car. They don't teach you how to change the tire. Like, this is all things your parents are supposed to teach you. Your dad or your mom. If you have one of those, or either, or both. But like, and like, someone has to teach you that shit. And you gotta learn it. And there's no test. It's not like there's any requirement. you know? And like, you know, it's just something you should know, but you don't because nobody ever fucking teaches you this shit, you know? And it's like the issue then is that you have to depend on somebody else to, like, you know, and I'm not saying that I could, let me go fix the hole in my bumper, right? Like, no, of course not. I don't expect myself to be able to do that, but I should, you know, be able to look at it and be like, okay, here's everything that's wrong with it, you know, and here's about how much that's probably going to cost or what's going to be, you know, what that entails. You know, when there is something wrong with it, you should be able to assess what's wrong with it to a degree, you know. You should be able to figure out where the problem is or whatever, you know. You should have some sort of idea because guess what? There's a social aspect to getting that car fixed, right? And I remember this very distinctly. There was one time, I think like my engine was like steaming or something. There was like smoke coming out of the hood and shit. It was bad. So we took it to a place across the street. Um, and, you know, it was there and they were assessing it. And my dad's like, nah, man, take it back from them. I got another guy lined up who will do it for dirt cheap. And he's pretty confident. So I went to go pick up my car from the other place and bring it home. And the people behind the desk were like, well, based on what we found, there is kind of risk for explosion. And that kind of stressed me out a little bit because I was about to drive that fucker off the lot. And like in hindsight, it's pretty easy to go, wow, they're really desperate to try. They're like making a very should be illegal attempt to not leave their store so they can make money. And I just like, wow, what a fucking slimy thing to do. This is actually my point of this fucking 36 minutes into this stupid ass thing and way past the climax, the emotional climax of this story. Is that the other element of this is that things used to be a lot more social. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. Like, before, you had to go everywhere to do anything, right? Like, if you needed something, you were going out for it. You had to go to the store and buy it. You had to go to the car shop and get it done, right? And that's why communities were, like, planned a little bit, because, like, there had to be a car shop within walking distance. And that's why there were so many car shops, right? Like, if you think about it, it's like, you know, you weren't going to drive the next town over. You were going to take it up to the car shop because you've been living and socializing in this community your whole life because there's nothing else to do. So you know everybody. Like, you know everybody in the community. They're not going to screw you over. But, like, over time, things kind of spread out. People, like, moved for work and they commute. And, like, things to seem a lot more spread out nowadays. Like, you live in one community, but you work 30 minutes away. Right, and that just seems like the norm for a lot of people because they want to live in like a nice place, but like, you know, their work is in somewhere else. I don't know. It's just like this weird thing, like, because the hardest part about all of this is like being social and not getting screwed over and like making sure you make your point. And I just like, I personally do not understand how people do it. I don't understand how people like take people to task and like get and like wring what they want out of them. I just do not have the confidence to go in there and be a dick to people. Like, or even if it's justified in being a dick, I don't have a, you know, the confidence to go in there and be a dick. Like, it's just, I don't. I'm like, no, please, I'm not trying to bother you. I'm like, and that's a terrible way to live. And it's like, you know, no one ever really teaches you how to stand up for yourself. And it's because in this world you can get by without doing it. Like, the thing about buying clothes is like, you know, or insurance, it's like I could see the insurance thing heading to where like you don't even fucking touch it. Like, I'm surprised they don't have it to where like an insurance agent comes to your house, takes your car and goes to get it fixed for you, you know, and then like, oh, here's the remainder, you know, or whatever. Like, I'm really surprised that's not a thing. You know, I mean, we're really moving to that. Like, bitches, we can't even go out and get fast food anymore. We got to get Grubhub, you know, to come out here and, like, deliver our fast food for us. Like, we're so fucking lazy, you know? Hey, we don't actually have to go and sit down at a restaurant anymore. If we want fucking Chili's, we can get that shit DoorDash to us. Like, who the fuck cares? You can get your groceries delivered to you. You can get anything delivered to you. Amazon pretty much sells everything. You don't have to go anywhere. You can ostensibly just live in your house and never leave. You do not need to leave your house, because if you work at your house, what do you need a fucking car for? You know, you ain't gotta go get gas. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to socialize. You don't have to talk to people. You know, what did people do for fun on Friday? Oh, they went to the box social at the local church. England, apparently. You know, everyone socialized. Everyone hung out on the weekends, right? Like, neighborhoods would come out. Like, do you know your neighbors? Are you familiar with them? Are you friends with them? Nah, of course you're fucking not. They don't want to talk to you. You don't want to talk to them. All you do is have to hear their stupid ass bullshit and their stupid dogs and their stupid race cars all the time. That's all you know about them, because they've never talked to you, because you don't go outside. You don't want to fucking talk to them. Fuck those people. They don't know Obama or Xenoblade. You don't talk about those things. Fuck no. You know, it's like, there are things from the old world that I wish were still kind of hard and stayed that way on purpose, so that we still had to do these things. And like, I also just don't know how to socialize either. And I think that that is becoming a more and more lost art, because we can just do shit online. You don't even have to go outside to make friends anymore. You can just like make fucking friends online. Like, what do you need? What do you need fucking Timmy down the street who's into monster trucks instead of video games? Like, what do you need that kid for? Fuck him. He's not cool. Frenchman 421 on the internet, though, he's a fucking baller. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's such a weird thing. And I don't know. I really feel like socialization classes should be taught in schools. And that sounds dumb, because like, they're not going to benefit half of the people. But like, it's such a weird thing that, like, you know, again, there's a lot to be said for the education system. But I feel like, you know, people who work in schools, aka teachers, like, should be able to pick out when a kid is not socializing very well. And like, none of this shit's gonna work out, because like, anytime you try to fix a kid, you know, because you've noticed something, or like that they're falling behind, it's like gonna backfire on you completely. Because I know they do this, but like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I look back and like, it's a thing where like, if you practice something wrong, then you learn it wrong, and you are wrong. And looking back at like my, you know, in my youth, I learned how to socialize wrong. And it's gotten me into trouble as an adult, because I do not know how to socialize. I do not know how to make friends the proper and easy way that most humans do. And now I have none. And also, I can't read social cues very well, and don't know how to stick up for myself, because all I fucking want is for people to like me, even if it is for the 20 seconds that we do a transaction together that is just business. Mostly, I just want to get back there, get the fuck out of there, and leave, because I am of the modern world, and most of the people that I like are just words on a screen and not actual people. And actual people are pretty fucking scary, because they can get mad at you. Anyway, yeah, so it's just like this weird thing. It's like, as we move towards the modern, as everything goes online and digital and into the cloud and all that shit, you know, it's like, it's this weird thing where it's like, yeah, but there's one foot still in, you know, actual real life the way it used to be. And you have to moderate that, and it's difficult. And like, there are things I'm not looking forward to because of it. It's like, you still got to have these social experiences, and you still got to do these things, and it's very daunting. I know that this started as a story about men's dress clothes, and that part was silly, and this part is arguably pretty pathetic. And I understand that, and I accept that, and I know that that's how it looks, but like, it's just how it worked out, you know, because back when I was learning socialization and how to deal with people and how to navigate people, I thought I was doing a good job. I thought I was like properly making friends, and I was properly learning how to talk to people. But I wasn't. And looking back, it's like, wow, yeah, most people probably did not like me. Most people probably thought I was a weird little creepo in high school and in middle school. And looking back, it's like I can kind of see how that is. But also, I thought I was doing a decent job. I was being me. More importantly, I was being me at that time, right? Like, and the number one advice that people give you is to be yourself. And it's like, now I'm not myself, because back then I learned that myself is not a person that is very good at this. So it's, I don't know. This is, like I said, this vlog is kind of all over the place. Um, and I feel like this could have been 3 different vlogs and probably should have been. But like, yeah, it's it's just a weird thing I've been thinking about lately. So if you've made it through this rambling mess, it's kind of over now. Congrats, I guess. Um, so yeah, have a good day.